When I was 17 years old, there was an incident that made me swear off buses forever. It was a Sunday evening, and I had just missed my bus after a rigorous gym session. Annoyed, I had no choice but to wait longer for the next one. Sadly, my parents were out for the evening, and taxis were too expensive, so I found myself sitting in the chilly bus shelter, watching the snow gently fall to the ground. As the minutes turned into an hour, I felt a sense of isolation. There was no one around, not a soul in sight. That was until I noticed a figure approaching from the corner of my eye. It was a creepy-looking guy dressed in multiple layers of clothing, slowly making his way towards me. Determined not to draw attention, I fixated on my phone, pretending to be engrossed in my music. To my discomfort, he sat down at the other end of the shelter and started staring at me. There was something unsettling about him. He seemed intoxicated or under the influence of drugs. Curiosity got the better of him, and he asked me when the bus was due. I took out my earphones and replied, mentioning the delay caused by the snow. His gaze lingered on me, and he began muttering to himself. I grew increasingly uneasy, so I resumed my pretend phone conversation. However, when I stole another glance, I realized he had moved closer. My heart skipped a beat when I heard him sliding even closer towards me. Gathering my courage, I questioned his well-being. The man's glossy eyes stared back at me as he leaned in with his raised arm. Instinctively, I grabbed my bag and sprinted away as he stumbled to the ground. Panic consumed me as I ran down the road, desperately avoiding any glimpse behind me. It wasn't until I reached the next bus stop that I felt a sense of relief. But then a knock on the glass shattered that relief. I turned to see the same guy peering at me, his unsettling presence sending chills down my spine. "What the hell is wrong with you?" I shouted, fear now etched on my face. He began circling the shelter, slowly closing in on me. Trembling, I warned him to stay back, desperately searching for an escape. In a sudden moment of frenzy, the man leaped towards me. I managed to dodge his attack. He fell face first onto the cold ground, blood streaming from his face. Shocked and unsure of what to do, I tried to revive him, but all efforts were in vain. I immediately called the police and paramedics, who arrived shortly after. Sharing my harrowing experience with them, they revealed that the man was under the influence of prescription drugs. It seemed he mistook me for his own son, as we bore an uncanny resemblance. Tragically, he had lost his son in a custody battle and had spiraled out of control. He was taken away for treatment, and I never saw him again. After that traumatizing experience, I obtained my driver's license shortly after and vowed never to step foot on a bus again. The memories of that cold night still haunt me, but I have moved on, grateful that I escaped unharmed from the clutches of a troubled soul.